Okay, so the question that everyone has with this clip is, of course, did Giannis travel? This is a very good question because there's a lot of people saying yes, he did, and others saying no, he didn't. And today we're going to break down what is a travel, did he travel, and also how some referees at the high school level and all NBA referees referee the game. So let's get down, let's check out if this is a travel. Okay, so first off, this was a turnover, and of course, Giannis intercepts that turnover. He, at this point, does technically not have control of the ball yet, and that's the foot he is on there. He then gets it in two hands, and he is still on that foot. At this point, he takes one step, which is allowed so far, and then he lifts up that other foot. Before starting a dribble, he lifted up that foot. At this point, all he can do is either pass or shoot. He can't put it down to dribble. He then takes another step. That's now technically one step, two step. He still has not technically dribbled the ball as of yet. Now, he finally dribbles the ball on the third step. He has now traveled from just inside the 3-point line to half court, not had a travel called against him yet, and there is a referee right there looking straight at him. So technically, yes, he has traveled. However, we're not done with the clip just as of yet. He takes that dribble, he then gathers the ball on the next foot that touches the ground, right there. That's his gather. Now, see, he grabs it with two hands, but also his hand was also underneath the ball. Anyway, so he gathered it on that foot, on the left foot. He now goes right step, left step. You're allowed two steps as after a dribble, as long as you take a shot or a pass. And at this time, he goes up for the dunk from the free throw line, and of course he makes the dunk. So, while after the steal he did travel, after the dribble he did not travel. So, there was only one travel there. However, not two like some people were saying. At the same time, however, why did this referee and this referee, who both have vision of this play, not call a travel? This is my answer. While some high school referees also go by this same exact rule, most NBA referees, about 99% of them, will go by this specific rule. And it's not necessarily a rule, it's actually an unwritten rule. And that is, if you travel, as long as it's not an overt travel of you taking multiple steps, and if you travel without gaining an advantage on the defender, and in this case, there is no technical defender in front of him. There is a defender here and here, however, they are behind the play, and they had no chance of catching up. And because of that, that referee and those two referees in the NBA probably never called the travel, mainly because of that. Number one, Giannis is not gaining an advantage on any defender because there is none, but also because those referees noticed that Giannis is an all-star. Giannis is one of the greatest players in the NBA right now and could be arguably the greatest player in the NBA right now. And that will also sway their decisions to allowing him to get away with a few things. There was a little bit of a joke when I was in high school about LeBron James. LeBron James, we all call it now the LeBron James step. You know, the 3-step dunk. It's a joke, but at the same time, it's just funny. But that is the potential reason why these referees never called that. And you may see this same thing happen at the high school level every once in a while, especially when it comes to ball handling. Some referees, no matter what, will call it where if your hand goes, more than half of your hand goes beneath half the imaginary half point of the ball, every single or a lot of referees will call that right away a carry. However, there are a few referees who will allow this to happen, or even totally right under will allow that to happen and dribble again, because if you, in their mind, do not gain an advantage over the defender, they don't call it. Now, this is not a rule that is in the rule book. This is an unwritten rule, very similar to how some referees will actually call, at least up here in Canada, some referees will call a Euro step a travel. Even though it's not, and you're taking your 2 steps, there are a couple of referees here and there around where I live who will call it a travel, because even though you are taking your legal 2 steps, you are gaining an advantage on that defender by changing directions. It's not a travel, but those certain referees will call it. However, and when I used to coach, I used to put in complaints about them all the damn time, and it was never fixed. However, this is how the basketball game is refereed in some cases. I hope that this has kind of given you an idea as to how it's refereed, the faults that, of course, referees have in some cases. It's also the same idea as how some people will say the hand is part of the ball. Technically, it's not, but in some cases it is, depending on the rule book that you follow. However, it is a foul, and that's why you always see those people complain in pickup games where you just barely touch their hand after they shot and they say it's a foul. That makes everyone mad. But anyways, I hope that you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys again next time.